Recent reports have ignited controversy around Prince Harry after claims surfaced that he was seen socializing at a private gathering with a journalist connected to a major British tabloid organization. At the very same time, he is pursuing active legal action against that company. The contradiction has stunned royal watchers and media critics alike, raising serious questions about consistency, credibility, and intent. For a public figure who has spent years positioning himself as a casualty of hostile media culture, through lawsuits, interviews, documentaries, and court testimony, he has described the British press as intrusive, unethical, and personally damaging. He has linked tabloid behavior to emotional distress, fractured family relationships, and the decision to step back from royal duties. Against that backdrop, the idea that he would willingly socialize with a journalist tied to a publication he accuses of wrongdoing feels jarring to many observers. According to circulating accounts, the incident came to light through social media posts rather than official statements. The images and descriptions spread quickly, fueling speculation and debate before any clarification emerged. Sources claim that Meghan Markle learned about the situation the same way the public did, which reportedly intensified tensions behind closed doors. Whether accurate or exaggerated, the perception of secrecy has become almost as damaging as the alleged event itself. Timing plays a crucial role in why this story has gained such traction. Harry's legal battles against sections of the British press are not symbolic gestures. They are active, expensive, and emotionally charged proceedings. He has accused publishers of unlawful information gathering and sustained harassment. These claims rest not only on evidence, but also on his personal credibility, on the idea that the harm he describes is deep and ongoing. Any behavior that appears to contradict that narrative invites scrutiny. The journalist reportedly present at the gathering is not an obscure figure. She is widely recognized within royal media circles, has authored books on the monarchy, and regularly appears as a commentator. Her professional association with a tabloid outlet Harry has publicly condemned makes the alleged interaction particularly sensitive. Critics argue that this is not a matter of casual coincidence, but of deliberate social engagement with someone linked to an adversarial institution. Observers have been quick to point out that there is a difference between engaging professionally with the press and socializing privately. Public figures often interact with journalists as part of their work. However, social settings suggest comfort, familiarity, and choice, elements that clash with the image of someone deeply traumatized by the industry in question. This distinction has fueled claims of hypocrisy from critics and confusion even among supporters. Legal analysts note that while such behavior may not directly impact the legal merits of Harry's cases, it could influence perceptions. Lawsuits centered on emotional harm depend heavily on trust. If opposing counsel can suggest inconsistency between claimed suffering and observed behavior, it may weaken the overall narrative, even if it does not invalidate specific allegations. In high-profile cases, perception often carries almost as much weight as fact. Beyond the courtroom, the situation has reignited debate about Harry's broader strategy since stepping back from royal life. Some commentators suggest that he is struggling to reconcile two competing identities: the media-averse advocate seeking reform and the socially connected prince who grew up within elite circles that overlap with journalism, politics, and entertainment. Navigating those worlds simultaneously is complex, and missteps can appear contradictory. There is also renewed focus on the Sussex partnership itself. Meghan Markle has consistently spoken about the toll media scrutiny has taken on her mental health and sense of safety. She has described feeling unsupported and targeted during her time in the UK. If reports are accurate that she was unaware of this social interaction, it raises questions about communication, alignment, and shared boundaries within the marriage. Supporters of Harry argue that one social encounter does not erase years of conflict with the press. They suggest that human relationships are nuanced, and engaging with individuals does not necessarily equate to endorsing institutions. Critics counter that public figures who build platforms around moral clarity must be especially careful about mixed signals. When personal actions blur stated principles, trust erodes. Ultimately, this episode highlights the ongoing tension between private life and public narrative. Prince Harry's decision, intentional or not, to occupy spaces linked to his legal adversaries underscores how difficult it is to sustain a singular storyline under constant scrutiny. Whether this moment represents a lapse of judgment, a misunderstanding amplified by rumor, or a sign of deeper fatigue with prolonged conflict remains unclear. What is certain is that the incident has reopened questions about credibility, consistency, and the long-term sustainability of Harry's campaign against the British tabloid system. The reported fallout from this incident appears to extend well beyond public debate, touching on deeper issues within the Sussex household. Sources close to the situation suggest that Meghan Markle viewed the alleged gathering not merely as a social misstep, but as a fundamental challenge to the principles she believes underpin their shared journey. For her, opposition to hostile media has never been abstract. It has been personal, emotional, and central to her understanding of why their lives changed so dramatically. Meghan's public image in recent years has been shaped by resilience amid criticism. She has launched projects, rebranded professionally, and attempted to redefine her role outside the monarchy, all while facing polarized public opinion. Against that backdrop, any action that undermines the couple's carefully constructed narrative of unity carries significant emotional weight. Learning of such an event through social media rather than direct communication reportedly compounded feelings of embarrassment and loss of control. Insiders suggest that this episode has intensified existing differences in how Harry and Meghan approach conflict with the press. Meghan is often described as strategic and disciplined about messaging, while Harry is seen as more emotionally driven, sometimes acting on instinct rather than calculation. These differing styles may have coexisted productively in the past, but moments like this expose potential fault lines. There is also renewed attention on Harry's relationship with the UK. His frequent solo trips for legal matters and charitable work have fueled speculation that he maintains social ties largely separate from his life in California. Some analysts argue that this reflects a natural pull toward familiarity rather than deception. Others see it as evidence of a divided existence, one foot in the world he left behind, the other in the future he is still trying to build. The contrast with the Prince and Princess of Wales is often raised, fairly or not. William and Catherine project a consistent, unified image rooted in tradition and institutional stability. Harry and Meghan, by contrast, represent disruption and reinvention. Any sign of internal discord risks reinforcing narratives that their approach is unsustainable, even if those comparisons oversimplify complex realities. From a reputational standpoint, the alleged incident complicates ongoing efforts to frame Harry as a principled reformer of media culture. Advocacy requires clarity. When actions appear ambiguous, critics seize the opportunity to dismiss broader arguments as performative. This does not negate legitimate concerns about press ethics, but it does make persuasion harder in the court of public opinion. Within royal circles, reactions are reportedly muted but telling. While official silence remains standard, off-record commentary suggests a sense of weary resignation. For some, the situation reinforces long-held doubts about Harry's judgment and strategic foresight. For others, it underscores the difficulty of stepping away from a system without fully escaping its gravitational pull. The long-term implications for the Sussex marriage are speculative, but trust is a recurring theme. Relationships built under intense public pressure rely heavily on transparency. Even minor lapses can feel magnified when every action carries symbolic weight. Whether this moment becomes a footnote or a turning point will depend largely on how it is addressed privately rather than publicly. As legal cases continue and new projects launch, both Harry and Meghan face decisions about alignment, messaging, and boundaries. The public may never know the full truth behind the alleged gathering, but perception will continue to shape response. In a media environment driven by contradiction and spectacle, consistency becomes both rare and valuable. This episode serves as a reminder that stepping out of an institution does not automatically free individuals from its narratives. The struggle between personal freedom and public expectation remains central to the Sussex story. Whether Prince Harry chooses to double down on confrontation, recalibrate his approach, or seek a quieter path forward will determine how this chapter is ultimately remembered.